Sports, as Brad and Chris are here. Good morning. How are you?
We're doing well. Loving the weather out there.
I
Absolutely.
can't complain about the weather. No.
No.
I'm ready for this. Now, it doesn't have to go crazy and get hot. It can just kind of hang out, in the 70s, 80s. But
We definitely need that moderate transition.
yeah.
We don't need that from here to there.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You don't need that big step.
Let's wait until June, July before we talk
July,
about
August or
There
so.
you go.
Yeah, that'd be even better.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, board meeting yesterday. How'd it go?
It went well. We welcomed Brandon Miller, the newest board member, on yesterday. So had his first meeting. So it was great to get a chance to meet him and talk with him a little bit. So we're looking forward to having him as a member of the board and helping out the hospital.
Good deal. Good
Yeah,
deal.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Couple other things, we always go over those financials first.
Oh, yes.
I think we talked about this same thing last year, in that spring break's tough for us. We had a lot of docs out and a lot of staff out, and so we had a rough month. We were $657,000 operating loss. However, we were fortunate enough to break that down to a $262,000 loss for the month with our other income. So if you think about how one day out for a provider affects the downstream.
Yeah.
One provider sees 30 patients in a day. Out of that 30 patients, you've got about 10 of those that get some kind of order for a lab or an x-ray or something, and that downstream. And so if they're out, the first week or so of the month, that next 2 or 3 weeks is lower than normal.
Right. Well,
So
slow catching up.
they need to take their time, and we absolutely understand it. It does just change kind of how the month goes.
Yeah.
And then with the corporations around changing, they're not all in the same weeks.
Right.
So then it stretches that time out over more of a period. So
Is it better or worse? I mean, if you have doctors that are different, I mean, would you rather see it all the same week, or is it better to stretch it out?
it would be nice from a numbers standpoint if it were stretched out over 2 months rather than in 1 month.
Right.
Now, within the month, as long as it's there, it's
Right.
pretty much kind of the same
The
thing.
same. Okay.
But if it would stretch out over a couple months, then it would make the hit a little softer.
Yeah. Right.
You would divide that
Uh-huh.
over a couple months, and it'd be a little easier to manage. But we get it, we understand,
Yeah.
we all want to take time off with our families, and we should.
Yeah.
So just kind of giving you an idea of what that actually does in an organization like ours. However, overall, we're still 1.1% over budget for the year, and we're 6.6% ahead of where we were last year at the same time.
Awesome.
So we're still moving in the right direction. We just had a little hiccup there.
Just put it in granny gear for a little
Absolutely, absolutely. So that was where we were with the financials. Equipment wise, this is one of the first months of many that we didn't have any capital equipment things going on. We are so laser focused on my next topic, which is Epic, that we've kind of put a hold on everything. Let's just get this computer system transition done.
Probably a good thing.
Yeah. So speaking of that, we are 51 days away from the big go live, June 14th. We're excited. We're nervous, and we're ready to get her done. So you guys will see in the community coming up. Krista will be sending out some information. So Krista, if you let them know.
So we have watch our Facebook page. We kicked it off yesterday, and each week we're going to be putting out information about how you can use our new system, benefits to the new system. We've got some articles that just hit the shopper's guide, so we're going to be putting out lots of information. We have some other things coming that once we get some things finalized on our side, we'll be sharing with the community as well on how to sign up for the new system. So if you are a patient of Woodlawn, I highly encourage you to be watching social media if you're on that. If not, the shopper's guide, and also your mailbox. There is plans to be sending you at least 1 to 2 mail pieces to give you specific information. So be on the lookout for that. We want to make sure that we're helping everyone through this process, because not only is it a process for our team, right? It's a process for our community as well. With that being said, please be patient with us as we are doing this transition. We have a lot of team members in training, so the ones back in the office, things might just be going a little bit slower. They're working really hard. It's just have some patience as we go through this next 50, 60 days with us, please.
No, absolutely, and we know that as a community you're going to do that, and it's going to end up being a wonderful thing for everyone. That information that Chris was talking about, that MyChart app that we've talked about in the past, you'll be getting information on how to get signed up for that so that you can connect to Woodlawn and your Woodlawn providers, and that'll be coming out over the next several weeks. So that'll be exciting. You'll be able to see all your information moving forward. So yeah, we're laser focused on that. It's all day, every day. It's going to be an epic event. So to speak. Yes. Other things, I wanted to just say a couple thank yous. I started about a year ago with the hospital and a group there, thinking about what can we do to get back into the Fulton and then actually extend it into the Kiwanis communities. And so, working with a grant writer, we have started that process. Some local groups have been really generous to us here in the last month. I had reached out to the Northern Indiana Community Foundation, and then also I had the Optimist Club had reached out to me, because what our plan truthfully is, we're going to get a mobile medical clinic. It's going to have the 2 exam rooms, and we're going to have a provider and a medical assistant working in Fulton, Indiana, and in Kiwanis 1 or 2 days a week, as soon as we can get all the funding taken care of. It's probably close to $500,000 for the medical unit, but what it'll do is get us back into those communities that struggle with things like transportation and such, and then we'll have the availability to use this at local businesses for health fairs, at the schools for physicals and stuff that we provide. All of the fairs and events here in the community and around the surrounding areas, we'll be able to use that to do things like blood pressure checks and hemoglobin A1C and blood sugar checks, things like that. So it's a way to kind of get back out to the community. We recognize that us leaving Fulton was a tough thing for a lot of the community, and we've been wanting to get back out there. So we've just started that process. Cool. So I want to thank the Optimist Club. I went and met with them and spoke at their meeting maybe a month and a half ago, roughly, and the Optimist Club was generous enough to give us a $10,000 donation to help kind of get this process started. And then also the Northern Indiana Community Foundation, they gave us a $50,000 grant to get that started. So we're getting there. We're on our way. So I want to thank those organizations. Local taking care of local. It's an amazing thing. So we're on our way. So. If you see me out in the community asking for money, that's what it's for. Yeah. We're going to be working on that. We've got 4 current large grants in with large federal foundations or national foundations, and we're going to be putting in the feelers out there for anything we can do. We want to get that covered and get that into action in the next 12 months so that we can get back into those communities.
Well, like you said, not only just in those communities, but then that opens up a whole other realm of opportunities.
Yeah, we could go to Talma a day and park next to their little community center and do some just wellness checks for the community. Yeah. We want to be a resource to the community for a lot of those things, and I think this will be a nice way for us to get out there and do that. So, businesses, I'll be probably knocking on your door soon, but we're going to get out there and see if we can do some fundraising and see what we can do to get this to fruition. So I want to thank those organizations.
Awesome.
Community needs assessment or community health needs assessment. That's coming up. Christy, you want to let them know where we're at?
So this is just for everyone's information. It helps us stay as a nonprofit hospital so we can do a lot of those giving back opportunities that Brad just mentioned, and I won't go into all that, but as a organization, we really prioritize giving back to our community. In the last several years, that's been a high priority for us. So the community health needs assessment is done by the Indiana Rural Hospital Association. They're going to come and help us. And if you would like a free cup of coffee on Friday at 8 a.m. at Mellow Mug, please come. We'll buy coffee and any pastries you would like, and then you just need to sit down and tell the IRHA some of our health needs in the community so that we're aware so we can work on them, like transportation, for example, or we can partner with other people for that. So we have that at 8 a.m. at Mellow Mug and 1 p.m. at the Senior Center here in Rochester. We would love to have as many people come. We want our community, we want that feedback on things we do well and maybe some areas that we need opportunities to improve as a community. So if you have the time, we are inviting everyone out. Everybody's voice matters, so please come out and like I said, 8 a.m. coffee on us, 1 p.m. We'll also have some treats for you as well for just giving us the time to participate. So we're excited for that.
I think that's something that we need to elaborate a little bit on. Healthcare is more than one thing. we're in the business of providing the actual health care, but healthcare involves transportation and nutrition and housing and all of those other things. And so a community health needs assessment is, sure, it's a requirement by the IRS because we're a not-for-profit, but it's also a way for us to get a global picture on the community's needs and how those affect their ability to either access healthcare, pay for healthcare, or utilize the healthcare, and then what are healthcare needs that we haven't thought of.
Right.
And so really appreciate anybody who could come out and give us that information. We really want a good global perspective on that, everything from mental health to nutritional needs are important in that assessment. So
Yeah, it's just a big realm of things. I mean,
Yes.
So
Yes.
the more people that can think outside the box of different things, the better off it'll be.
cultural perspectives, different cultures and different, if you were raised in the South in the United States, your perspective on healthcare may be slightly different than in the Midwest.
Yeah.
All of those things are important because as one community, we still need to meet everybody's needs that we can.
Awesome.
Other things going on Saturday.
Right,
We
on
have
Saturday. This just gets to how we give back in our partnerships within the community. We have our drug take back day. If you're like me, right, you get medicine, maybe my child got medicine for pain for surgery over the summer. I didn't really use that, and now it's sitting around my house. How can I get rid of it and make sure it's safe and know it doesn't fall in the wrong hands? So we're partnering up with the Fulton County Sheriff's Office and at Saturday from 10 a.m. to noon. And that is a drive-through, so bring all your old medications you need to get rid of or sharps, and you'll be able to drop them off to the officer and to our team. The officer will be the one receiving it, and then just drive on through. And this is a way that we can make sure that we keep all the substances that are meant for medical purposes, that they stay for medical purposes. And so this is something we're really excited to do. So 10 a.m. to noon in the visitor parking lot at the hospital. So
It's kind of a reverse drive-in. It's the only drive-through that you're giving us stuff, but not the
Yes,
other way around.
right.
But it is important, medications for a couple of reasons it's important to get rid of them. One, they do actually have expiration dates, and I know we've all been guilty of looking at that bottle and kind of pushing the envelope. But there are reasons, because in oxygen environments they break down over time, and those materials aren't the same anymore. That's one thing. Two, you should never dispose of them into the trash or into a landfill because they all go into our water supply. And that doesn't matter whether you're on a city water supply or you're out in a rural community. Our aquifers are our aquifers.
Mm-hmm.
And so anything that goes down through and penetrates, there are many studies of the water in large cities that have antidepressants in it and all kinds of things that are not generally supposed to be there. And so they incinerate these medicines to make sure that they don't get into the wrong places. So very important. Come on in. Thank you to the Sheriff's Department for doing that. It's a great way to get rid of those things. And if you're diabetic and you have all of those needles and sharps and things, the little things you use to prick your skin and curse every time, you can bring those in and we'll get rid of those and incinerate those too, so we eliminate those biohazards.
Awesome.
So we don't want to just pitch those into the trash and have our people that are taking care of that get injured or get poked and things like that. So
Cool.
Last two things real quick. Don't forget about MD Save. MD Save is a connection to our hospital website where you can get online if you have a high deductible health plan or you're self-insured or you have no insurance and you pay cash. You can get on and you can search for laboratory and imaging services and you can get a significant deal. I got on last week and showed someone how to get on, and they were able to save about $800 by getting on the website.
Awesome.
And I'm pitching it obviously because I believe Woodlawn's the best place to go, but this shows all the prices from around. It shows you the prices of all the competitors, so it's still a great website, even if at the end of the day you don't choose us,
Right.
which we need to talk about why. But if you don't, it's going to save you money anyway.
Right.
So don't forget MD Save. You can get on our website and go straight from that website with a little button and check it out. It's very easy to use. And then the last thing, we appreciate your guys' patience coming up over the next couple months with the transition to Epic. It is the largest change that Woodlawn has faced in 20 years. It's changing everything we do. Not just the computer itself, but even the processes that we do things, you know. Many of us know that if we've done something the same way for many, many years, it's awful hard to change.
Yeah.
And so we are challenging some old habits to improve the future. So thank you for your patience moving forward. We really appreciate it, and we're very excited about it.
51 days.
51 days,
51 days.
but who's counting?
But who's counting? Yes.
Absolutely.
Right, Carissa, thanks for coming in, and good luck. And that 51 will be down to what, about 20 by next time we talk.
It will absolutely. We will
Crazy,
probably have. I'll have less hair. It'll be grayer than it already is.
Is that possible?
I'm not sure. We'll see.
Okay.
But yeah, thank you. We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll look forward to talking to you next month.
All right.
Thank you.
Woodlawn Health Report here on Giant FM. Bye.